And we are live. Good evening, heralds of the known world. I am the Honorable Lord Ulrich Eisenhand, Pen and Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies, and welcome to our discussion meeting for the August 2018 Eternal Letter of Intent. I've got some commenters here in chat with me today, so if we will, I'm just going to start on my screen on the left end and work my way across. So, Master Alexander, if you would introduce yourself.
I'm Alexander Ravenscroft, the Stentor Herald. I am primarily courts and field, so I'm just here to mess things up.
Next up would be Kurt.
I am Kurt Bogner, and I'm Cypher Person.
All right, Lucien.
I'm the Honorable Lord Lucien d'Artois. I'm the Lambent Herald responsible for commentary.
Master Herveus.
I'm Herveus Dormond, Morceless Herald, among other things. I'm not from Meridies, but I'm here to kibitz.
He knows his things.
Yes.
Mistress Bronwyn.
You're skipping over Thorfina.
Not according to my screen.
Could be in different orders on different screens.
Oh, okay. All right. I am Mr. Sparman O'Goodwelly. I'm White Antelope Herald, and I'm just here to comment.
And finally, Thorfina.
I am Lady Thorfina. I am the Herald for the Barony of Gladenfeld, and Mistress Bronwyn technically outranks me, so she should come first.
All right, so we've got two ILOIs this month. The second one is administrative actions, so we'll just read through them when we get to the end of this, just to have them on the record. But we will go ahead and dive in on the one with all of the names and devices and stuff. So starting off with number one, Kalen McOden, new device change. And he has commented further down that the badge release is for a badge he has registered. This will replace his current device, and his device will be retained as a badge.
Okay.
So I will fiddle with entries.
Make sure
for that.
Make sure the badge release is a separate item.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
So the device in question is Perpale Vert Nazure, a winged wolfhound rampant Conturney ore.
We don't normally specify the breed, but
Yes, specifying a breed that is not normally found in heraldry is a step from period practice.
I don't think we have any others, though.
that would be the only SFPP in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly stylistic anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
All right. There was some question on whether a Senmerv is a significant change from a winged dog. But let's see here, reading through Lucian's comment here. DC for changing half the charge, then DC for the field, I believe.
Right, it's clear regardless.
And
So yeah, it would be clear regardless.
And you get an SC for the posture change.
Okay.
For the
Yes.
one conflict, so it doesn't conflict with anything.
No.
I just wasn't sure whether or not this was a significant change from a Senmer, but it doesn't matter if it is or not. That was just kind of a rhetorical question.
Okay.
It looks like Senmerv gets indexed as if it were a winged canine.
Yeah,
That's
so
the reason.
it's the bottom half of a Senmerv is like a fishtail, so
Okay.
it's kind of, half different from a winged dog, so I didn't know if that was enough of a significant change. make it its own thing, but it's still clear in any case because you change half the charge and the posture is different and the field is different. So,
Right.
All right. So if we have no conflicts, I'm going to go ahead and send it up. It doesn't look like we have found any, so.
No.
All right. Moving right along to number 2, Katerina Angelica Galilei, new alternate name, Isa Marsdottir. I do believe we have someone in here with this surname who can I'm pretty sure we have to drop the R there, right?
Yep. Yep, we
I
do.
believe so.
Well,
Yes.
Yep. Because that's what we did with my name.
well, Freed found a MARS genitive Iceland from 1120 and 1205. So would that count? That's the last comment there.
well, the commenter requested authenticity, so
Yeah, authenticity for Old Norse. So
Well,
that would be pre-900, I think.
Do we consider
Or is it 1100?
Early. Just early.
well, it's pre-1100 in any case.
Okay.
Yes.
It's something else too. Back when we did my name, we also dropped the accent marks off the A and the O as well.
That's stylistic. You can either have them or not, but it just has to be consistent.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's
If
requesting
you have
authenticity.
any accents, you have to have all of the accents.
Mhm.
Well, since she's requesting authenticity, should we err on the side of caution and leave the accents in?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the accents on.
Was
If,
this
It
is
is
it submitted with the accents?
Yes.
Yes.
Then leave them on.
if Alice doesn't like them, she can take them off.
And she is unlikely to take them off gratuitously.
All right. So we drop the R from Marsdottir. Should be all right after that. Yes. I didn't see any mention of conflicts.
Well, it depends on which R you drop. If you drop the one at the end, then it's going to have problems. But if you drop the one in the middle, you should be good.
I don't think she wants to be Morris Dottie.
And let's face it, this is a meridian submission, so it's going to get a dropped R anyway.
Correct.
Fair.
All right. So I will contact the submitter for permission to make that change and send it up.
The mom's daughter.
And please bear with me. I am 4 days into the antibiotics for this infection, so my voice is a little rough. I'm actually able to talk today.
Yeah. Hey,
Big improvement.
Yeah, it is.
So
Since we're going to be getting that lingua societatis, are we going to be able to start submitting things in Dixie?
moving along.
Yes, let's.
Okay.
To, number 3, Christian Gwen, new alternate name change.
Is that just a straight name change?
It is a straight name change,
Is it?
as far as I know, but I'm on chat with her on Facebook right now, so I can find out.
If
It looks like she wants this as her primary name, and she's wanting to retain her current name as an alternate name.
so that's just a straight name change. Retain the old one.
Yeah,
Correct.
There's an alternate doesn't come into the action.
exactly.
All right. So the name in question is Kathleen Wen.
Correct.
Looks like the docs check out. No conflicts found. Anybody find anything else?
Nope.
All right. In that case, we will send it on up.
Okay.
Number 4,
I
Christian.
like the bonds.
New device change. Quarterly procure and sable. Impale 3 ounces passant garden argent. Old item. Quarterly procure and saber 4 seed letter. Conjoined in cross points outward within a 4-lobed quadrate cornice argent to be retained as a badge.
Yes.
This is a fantastic device.
Just really,
I'm in love with it.
yeah, I kind of want to steal it.
I love it. I think it's great.
She got there first.
There aren't many statin or passant cats left, just like by themselves.
Who?
I was really amazed when we were working on it that this was clear, but it is.
Are you the consulting herald?
Yep. She is. The submitter is also a herald. She is the herald for the Shire of Fourth Castle.
Okay.
And so it was a collaborative effort.
Okay.
On this.
Go her. Go you.
All right.
But it's a good thing she limited it to 3 ounces, because if she added a 4th one, then it would be a quarter pound.
Hey, don't laugh. We looked it up, and there is actually a 16-ounce device registered because somebody wanted a full pound.
Well, that depends on whether your pounds are avoirdupois or Troy. This is a quarter pound, Troy.
Okay.
This kind of makes me want to register a device with 40 ounces on it.
And,
But obviously American because they get way too big drinks.
Yes. But I think this is absolutely outstanding. I think it's a beautiful device,
and I like the submitted artwork. It's a period style.
Oh yes.
I don't think we need to use the redraw that.
No.
I have a problem with that.
I prefer the original.
have seen-
so we always use the original.
Right. I've seen too many people get on various heraldry chats and say you ought to make all the charges the same size. They are drawn to fill the space, and if you look at period arms, they are drawn to fill the space.
Yep.
And Gerard helpfully gives us actual examples to illustrate the point.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep.
It does help when there are 3 like similar charges with a very consistent motif.
Yes.
There's no question at all that they're all meant to be one charge group.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
No.
All right. So
And I like the examples that he provides that show that it was drawn to fill the space. So if it was square, then all 3 of them would be the same size. But if the shield curves, then they get smaller as they get closer
Yes,
to
they
the
do.
bottom of the curve.
all right.
There's no need to actually include that on the external LOI.
No.
Not planning on it.
Unless somebody is foolish enough to raise the question, then you can pound them with data.
Well, just direct them to England.
Yeah,
If somebody raises the question, then you've got pictures you can show them and go, no.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
Including England, which we all know.
Yeah. All right. So this device is good. We're going to send it up. Moving along to number 5.
Okay.
Also, Christian Gwen, new badge.
Okay.
Shieldless, a 4-lobed quadrate cornice procure.
Yep.
I did not find any conflicts on this one either.
Now, my one question is, just looking at it, it has a very floral shape. Is it going to conflict with any flowers?
No.
No, not because we don't allow voided flowers.
That's right. Okay.
For one thing.
This is an attested period charge.
Yes.
it is what it is.
Okay.
Nothing else like it that I know of.
All right. So that was a question for my education.
Just an artist note: the top of the charge is about 4 millimeters off of the center line. So
Sorry.
Probably will need to be returned for a redraw then.
Yeah.
Ah,
Christian, you have my permission to wallop Lucien.
Cannot unsee.
She
All
is
right.
monitoring this on YouTube. So that's for her.
Right.
so
So
you, Christian.
Yeah, because we have 5 watchers, not counting me.
Mhm.
all right. So we are going to call that one good and also send it up.
Okay.
So moving along to number 6. Erland Cadwallader. New name and new device. Starting with the name. See here, using
Just had some issues.
So the given name is Old Norse, and the surname is Welsh,
Correct.
which according to Appendix C is okay, as long as it's
Prior to-
pre-1100 Welsh.
Right.
which it is not.
Which it is not.
It is not.
But if you look further down in the comments, Christian found both of these name elements in Family Search as English. And since the submitter said that the sound was most important, then I don't think we have an issue with the new documentation.
Right.
They weren't looking for authenticity.
Right. They were not
For
requesting it.
authenticity, so we can give them a 16th century English name
English
that gives them the name that they want.
And they're all C batch, so they're all good as far as the
Yeah.
The only thing you probably want to add is the actual links for the.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
help
we,
you out.
we do need to do that.
But yeah, that should be
That's easy to find, though.
that's solid documentation. That's not even stunt documentation.
No. Good girl.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay, belt sister!
It's not so much, it's not so much the allowance for 16th century English surnames as 16th century English surnames are also part of the given name pool. It's not an allowance; it's a precedent, which makes it a rule.
Mm-hmm.
Just being terminology.
So we've got that.
But
16th
yeah,
century English.
so yeah, the name's solid.
Name's going up. Moving on to the device. Lozenge, Argent, and Ghouls, a wolf's head erased, and a base embattled sable.
Okay.
Pretty good.
And now my comment on there is just an artistic note. Basically, if the tinctures of the lozenges were switched, then the sable embattlements would fall on the Argent traits, and it would be a little more easily identifiable since it would not necessarily be reproduced the same way every time anyway. I don't think that really.
Yeah, the base is a bit on the tall side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it definitely is. I see a redraw is offered at the bottom with the base shrunk down to more base-like size,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and that looks fine. I mean, as long as the submitter's okay with a substitution, that will avoid that problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, did the submitter okay the redraw?
I will be contacting the submitter and asking.
Yeah.
Okay, because that second redraw down there uses the same wolf head he had,
Yes.
and it looks much better.
A little bit of coloring outside the line there.
Well, yeah, that
Well,
could-
yeah, but
Yes, but a touch of the eraser tool in GIMP will take care of that.
Yeah.
yes, it definitely
Yep.
will.
So
Just have to make sure that the submitter's okay is
Right.
explicitly called out, because there's kind of picky about that kind of stuff.
All right, I will contact the submitter on that one to get permission to use the redraw for the device.
Okay, because that would handle all
We're
the
good.
Yep.
Kaylin couldn't find any conflicts. Christian couldn't find any conflicts.
I couldn't either.
All right, works for me. Moving on to number 7, Frigate of South Downs, new name and new device. Starting off with the name. Looks like we have a corrected
Oh.
link. So, docs check out,
I'm not that well.
maybe?
Yes, I found the working link. It got truncated somehow. But the
Yeah,
link that I provided worked for me.
yeah. I'm clicking on it now. I'm not able to access it.
The one that I provided.
The one
or the
above
original?
there. The one that Wenyeva has posted here is working for me.
Yeah, that works for me
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
So,
Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'll make sure to correct that link.
What is this? What is this source? I've never used it before.
The prosopography of Anglo-Saxon England, I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Anglo-Saxon names.
That?
Apparently a great source.
It is a good source.
Is this the new one that somebody just found?
No, it's
No, this
been around
one's-
for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it before a few times. I've never played around with the site very much.
It's really tricky to search
Yeah,
in.
it looks
It
kind of cool.
is. It is, but it's got good information.
Nice.
So docs check out using branch name for a locative by name should be fine.
Could it be the South Downs?
No,
No,
it's registered as South Downs.
Okay.
so name's good.
Mm-hmm.
We will correct the link in the documentation and send it up. Moving on to the device, Perchevron, Argent, and Vert, 2 bows and arrows knocked and drawn, and a fir tree cooped counterchanged.
Okay. A bow and arrow is considered a single charge.
Yep.
So we do not have to worry about slot machine on it. So stylistically, everything looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wasn't able to find any conflicts.
no,
Iago is saying down here that the wording we are leaning towards is drawn bow with arrow knocked. So it would be 2 drawn bows with arrows knocked.
I think that
Okay.
makes sense. It helps make it
does.
sound like 1 charge as opposed to 2.
yes.
Certainly that phrasing shows up in 8 pieces of registered armory
Okay.
over time, including at least as recently as 2017. So yeah, looks like a good choice.
All right, so we will alter that blazon. Not finding any conflicts. We had one that had let's see here, Perchevron, Argent, and Vert, 2 ravens rising adorst, wings displayed, sable, and a fir tree Argent.
And that was the closest I found as well.
Yeah, 1 DC for changing half to primary group, 1 DC for change a tincture half primary group. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It should be good. So we will we'll fiddle with that blazon a little bit, and then we will send it on up. Moving on to number 8. Helena de Bloom, new name and new device. Let's start off with the name.
That's another one that there are some problems possibly with. Let's see.
Yes, because if I remember correctly, flowers are feminine in German, so it would be die Blume, not der Blum.
Good German man.
Ah,
That might not
I don't know
apply
if
in this case. I'm not sure. There are people who are very clueful about German who can weigh in on the question.
Well, Moral says if Bloom is indeed feminine, Middle High German, then der Bloom would be the dative.
well, that's right. Yeah, it is a dative case, isn't it?
Well, he corrected himself below saying dative
Yep.
or genitive.
Genitive, yeah. Yeah. So it looks like, from that anyway, that all it really needs is the umlaut.
yes.
I have never seen umlauts over e's in German, but that might be an earlier German thing. That may be a pre-modern German thing.
That's not something I'm familiar with either.
Yeah.
Because typically, you only see umlauts over a's, o's, and u's.
Hmm.
Looking at that Wikipedia page that Moral linked, which, I mean, Wikipedia and all, but for Middle High German, there are a lot of umlauts over e's, so it might actually just be
It could just be a Middle High German thing.
Possibly.
look, the umlauts are fancier, so gotta be fancy.
Did we confirm that spelling?
Well, Christian found it said that some early Middle High German bynames with emphasis on the names from the Bavarian dialect area. She says offers some support for de Blum. With this entry, Hugo Schiger, Hugo der Schiger.
All right, well,
Now she's got von der Blum, meaning of the flowers or from the flowers, would be more accurate and accepted form of the by name.
well, I will. I'm gonna say I don't know enough about Middle High German names to say that this is wrong. So I'm going to send it up.
Send it up with the comment
with what we've got,
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
and let them make that decision.
And one hopes that the people with German expertise will chime in.
Sorry? I didn't catch the last bit of that.
I would expect people with German expertise to weigh in on this.
Right.
and we can find out what did the submitter show as did it make any kind of comments on what kind of changes she would allow?
No.
So,
Maximum flexibility,
okay,
I guess.
that helps then.
Now, given the documentation, Helena Bloom should be a perfectly acceptable
True.
paint construction. It's when we throw that article in there that it throws it for a loop for me.
I would think that either Helena Blum or Helena von der Blum would possibly be more accurate than Helena der
Well,
Blum.
von der Blum wouldn't really make much sense because it's a locative construction.
Oh, okay. I guess so, because of the flowers.
Schwarzwald is a
Yeah.
contraction of von dem Schwarzwald,
Yeah.
which would be from
Yeah,
the Black Forest.
The Blum isn't a place, correct?
place, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be Bloom.
So. All right. So
The easiest way would be to drop the article.
Genau.
But you can let Pelican do that.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just gonna send this one up with some of the questions that we have from commentary, and let the people with the higher bait grade make that decision, because that's beyond my realm of knowledge.
And that's why they get paid the big bucks.
Wait, y'all get paid?
For certain values of big.
If you draw that zero real big.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what you can tell mathematicians? 2 + 2 is equal to 5 for very lost values of 2.
Correct. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the device. A vert on a pale endorsed ore between a sunflower proper and a beet ore, a rapier vert.
So the only question I have, and I just noticed it now, is does the coatis look real like thin to you? To anybody else?
Yes, maybe a shade thin, but I don't think it's.
I think probably that can be handled with an artist note.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's they're a little starved.
They need a sandwich.
Or some honey.
Send them to all you can eat Western Sizzling.
Sorry if I'm being distracted, but the International Space Station's flying overhead right now.
Woo! And you're outside.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? You should be focusing your attention on that.
It's really fast.
He's like focusing his attention on that. He's just, All right, so we don't have any. We shouldn't have any issues with having a flower on one side and a bee on the other side because they are secondary charges.
Right.
I still think it's
actually
moral sovereign.
Because the pale is the primary. Because
yes, and the coat, but the coat.
The endorses
The
are,
endorses are also secondary, considered.
but they're their own group.
Right.
So we have 2 secondary groups.
Charge groups, yes.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's
not
it.
all in the same charge group, so it's not slot machine.
Bingo.
Correct.
No, not bingo slot machine.
And the rapier is
Go
a
for it.
tertiary charge, so it doesn't affect
doesn't-
either of the other two.
No.
right.
I think you're all nuts.
Stabby, stabby.
I forget which kind of rapier is the one we don't allow. The cup hilt.
Cup hilt.
This is the one that is allowed.
This is the allowed one.
Yes.
This is the one that's on Mist Home.
Yes.
Ulrich is very familiar with that.
I always get them backwards.
This
I
is the one
tend
that
to-
I had. This is the one that I used on the Argent Rapier badge redraw because they didn't like the one that I sent them the first time.
Yes. I tend to prefer having the same charges on either side as for the sake of balance, but there's nothing that's against the rules on this one.
Okay. All right, so we will tack an artist note on for
sandwiches.
For what's
To fatten up those endorses.
yeah. Yeah,
I endorse this.
Yeah. All right, so we will send that one up with an artist note. Moving along to number 9, Obida Lozev. New name and new device. Starting off with the name. Russian name.
Well, Wickenden apparently doesn't really show Obida. But the source that Paul uses does. Because it's Bohemian, right?
Well, he has Obida
Yeah.
there. That's
It's listed as a masculine name
yeah.
in the documentation, so
Yep.
And so
of course this is Goldschmidt, not Wickenden.
whatever.
Frida's talking about Wickenden.
Okay.
It's the same person.
Same person.
Paul
That's
Wickenden signs his checks. Paul Goldschmidt.
Yes.
same person.
It's
Yep.
the same. It's the same.
Oh,
person.
okay.
Paul Wickenden of Planet is also Paul Goldschmidt. Is his Monday name. So
But it actually, yeah, somebody just smoking because it's in there. I just opened it up and looked at it.
Yeah.
okay.
Frida's eyes must have crossed at just the right minute.
Must have.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. That corrects that problem.
So
But then yeah, we both things are both parts are cited out of Wickenden.
Yeah.
He has an 11/15 date on a variant spelling. He doesn't have a dated example of this spelling.
Well, the dated spelling that we have for that spelling is from a Bohemian source.
Right. I'm going with what
Yeah.
Wickenden says,
Okay.
as opposed to when you chase it down. And the
citation for the for the surname is dated 1608.
for that spelling and for the name on which it's based to 1495. You can construct it off the 1495 if you need to slide it back for dates. And Wickenden is a bit problematic because while it says it's Russian names, there's lots of things that aren't Russian in there.
Correct.
And sorting that for the someone using that source to pull things together to be able to sort out what is and what isn't Russian, and if it's not Russian, what is not necessarily a trivial undertaking. And so the question is, at what point do we penalize submitters for using the source in good faith? And we have a statement there that Frida cited that names found in the dictionary will be treated as Russian regardless,
which is very helpful.
and temporal compatibility, benefit of the doubt. So
in which case, if they're both going to be treated as Russian,
yeah,
then we only have to have them within what, 500 years?
yeah.
Correct.
Which we have.
So this is registrable. It may not be authentic, but the submitter's not asking for authenticity. So.
Nope.
Well, North Slavic names are compatible with Russian names anyway, so.
Okay, is Czech a North Slavic?
Yes.
Okay.
So per Appendix C in Senna, these are compatible, even if it's a Czech name.
That's probably not a bad thing to mention.
Okay.
And citing the precedent about that Frida cited, just putting that in there so people don't have to go remember it and look it up.
Absolutely, I would put that in.
You know, it makes Pelican's job easier when all the information is there in the LOI.
Yep. All right.
And making Pelican happy is a good thing.
Yeah.
We're not gratuitously making it difficult is a good thing.
All right. So in that case, we are going to treat the name as good and send it up. Moving on to the device. Sable, a chevron throughout, argent, between two boars combatant, and a stag rampant with a broken attire oar.
The broken attire is not particularly obvious, but
I don't think we have a unity of posture issue because the concept of 3 charges, 2 in 1, 3 critters with a 2 in chief are combatant is readily found.
Yeah, and there are some recent examples similar that were registered.
right.
So there's not a unity of orientation problem, and the fact that they're different size again is filling the space.
Right.
So I think it's, I don't think there's an issue there.
I think we're good. I don't think we found any conflicts, did we?
No.
No, the only thing we were worried about was whether or not this would run afoul of unity of posture and orientation.
We might also have an artist's note. Michael Gerard mentioned that the broken attire seems really unrecognizable without reading the blazon.
If you look at the little picture, I can agree, but if you like,
you blow it up, you can see it.
You can see
it. It was drawn on a shield,
Yeah.
feet away.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you don't know it's supposed to be there, you could overlook it.
It's also not a broken versus a whole attire is not a DC, right? So it's not a.
No,
it wouldn't matter anyway.
It's a blazonable difference, but it's not a
point difference.
It's not a point difference. Well, in that case, we are going to set the device up. Moving along, Petros Mystikos, Rita Badge, Sable, a mullet of 6 points or charged with a Latin cross for me, Sable. Everything all right over there, Herveus?
Yeah. Sorry about the noise.
Are you shucking clams?
I'm breaking down boxes. Empty boxes that used to have string in them.
Oh,
String.
I don't know what you would ever be doing with string.
I don't know. Only Urveus would order whole boxes of string.
String, string, string. Wonderful string.
All right, so
I mean, it's like being in the Fibber McGee and Molly show when he opens the closet.
Okay. I actually ordered some crochet thread for another project. And I got this huge box in the mail, and all it had in it was the one skein of thread. So some packers are ingenious.
Hey, we've got a question going back to Oblev's. The question is, and this is coming from the YouTube channel, is chevron a little too high?
No, throughout. It's supposed to touch the top of the shield.
yes, it is a chevron throughout, which means it's supposed to reach all the way to the tippy top of the shield.
Okay, cool, thanks.
It could potentially be a little bit sharper, which would shrink, which would adjust the ratio of the spaces, but I don't think it's off into returnable land.
No, I don't think
It's more artist.
So do they, for my benefit, do they not require the like if you're pulling the chevron up, do they not require like you to equally pull it down to balance it, or is it just the throughout just indicates that it touches the top?
It should imply that the bottom comes down some too. I'm not sure this one goes off the reservation.
No, I mean it looks fine, but I was just curious.
Ideally, it would come down a little bit further, but it's not.
Yeah, ideally it would come down to where the hash marks are on the shield, on the form, but it's not egregious.
All right. So on the device, on the badge on number 10, there's a discussion going on whether or not there is a conflict. The potential conflict is tinctureless on a mullet, a crosslet.
Well, a mullet by default is 5 points, but I don't know that we get a difference between 5 and 6.
I think it's 1, 2, 3, many. Maybe it goes to 4, but
however, we have a field on one and tinctureless on the other.
So you get
one
for the field, the fieldless thing.
And then we should get a difference between a Latin cross forming and a crosslet.
Yes.
So we should have two. We should have 2 DCs.
Yes, a crosslet is in a different cross family.
Okay, dokie. So in that case, it is clear of conflict from that one. And I don't believe we found any other potential conflicts.
Just a note on the blurb up at the top where the original submission was returned. That should read, it was returned for the violation of Senate A3C, not AC3. So flip the 3 and the C around.
A3C instead of AC3.
Yes.
I really wish that they would get on that scene and pop up the citation at the end of each of the paragraphs, so that you could just copy it. Because I keep having to scroll up to figure out what section I'm in.
Yeah.
I've been quoting Cena a lot recently.
All right.
Drop a note to. Gosh, who would get that?
Palimpsest?
Not Morceless.
No, okay, this guy doesn't.
Yeah, drop a note to Morceless. He'll fix it.
Morceless won't touch that. That's
yeah. And you would know.
I actually put that in one of my comments about the Lingua Societatis, I think. So we'll just see if anybody reads it.
Well, a specific pointed thing that's just that, and you send it to Palimpsest, I think.
I don't think I don't know if that would be wise.
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Later.
Unless there's, but
You could get one of your associates to do it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, not it. But
I'm not volunteering any of mine at this juncture.
all right,
Kurt
guys.
said he would do it.
All right, guys. Let's get back to the meeting, please.
Okay.
Time.
Number 10, we're gonna call that one good and send it up.
Okay.
Moving on to number 11. I'm sorry, Naz. I'm going to butcher your name. Sarah
Garnatia.
Garnatia.
That wasn't as
Tia
far
or
off.
Taya?
Tia.
Yeah.
Okay. Garnatia.
They're from Granada. New badge. Fieldless, a crescent argent maintaining 2 ravens, close respectant. We are going to need a copy of that with the ravens not colored in for the line drawing.
Yes.
That would be my fault.
Yeah.
I'm the one who printed it out and all.
I suggested a different blazon
Consulting
on this
Herald
one
needs to be
too.
fired.
Does that permission to conflict include the blazon of the badge for which he's of Rorik's badge that he's giving permission to conflict with? Because we really need the blazon
Almost assuredly.
on the letter.
I am including what I got.
Okay. Well,
His Rorik Lugdak is fieldless on a sun argent, 2 ravens, respectant sable.
Those are on the sun as opposed to perched to top it. So
That doesn't conflict anyway. It's got 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
You got a difference for fieldless, and you got a difference for
for the sun versus the
sun
moon.
to crescent. Yeah. To the
So we don't need a letter for this?
No.
But
No.
we
Okay.
wrote
I think they were just being overly cautious.
Because the two of them are actually speaking to each other at the moment, so
Speaking, that's a word.
that is a word. It is a word in English.
Okay.
It's one of many very nice words.
The joke is she
We
is
are on
moving halfway across the state to be with him.
Yeah, we're losing her in Gladenfeld. She's going to Thor's Mountain.
She's ours. You can't have her.
I want her back.
You'd be surprised what I can take, bucko.
Okay. Now, do we need to reblazon this?
I really like the perch atop. I mean, it just sounds it flows much better personally, but I don't really know.
I don't
I
see.
think it's more accurate too.
I agree.
Because I mean, maintaining on an inanimate charge that doesn't have arms is kind of awkward to me.
Well, also, it doesn't specify how it's maintaining them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could be perched on the inner curve or on the outer curve. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean they're where they are, which is one of the reasons why I suggested the perched atop.
I like Bronwyn's blazon. For what that's worth.
Hmm.
Right, and we can drop close because that is default posture for ravens.
Yep. And the ravens are sable.
Mm-hmm.
Not proper, just
Not necessarily. Okay.
Although I think I might say fieldless, 2 ravens perched atop the horns of a crescent argent.
Except that you normally list the primary charge first, and the crescent is.
Yeah, the crescent
quite
is definitely
clearly
the
defined.
primary, and the while they are perched atop, they are still maintained charges. So the crescent is maintaining the 2 ravens, which would make the ravens secondary to the crescent.
Mm-hmm. Either way you blaze it.
Yeah, but ravens are more important than crescents.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, well.
Hey, come on. At least Tobias is free. Matthias, crap.
Bias.
What?
You know, whatever that guy's name is, who was my associate, I don't even know.
He used to have a Tobias as
Yes,
an
he did.
associate.
Yes,
He left and he didn't even let the door hit him on the way out.
I got that reference.
I mean, hey, it's not Tobias.
Oh,
All right, so
okay.
so we're gonna change the blazon and send that one up.
Okay.
I'm going to start getting associates that make coffee and don't end in Matthias.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, really, I'm feeling really bad.
Moving along to
Beth
number
can make coffee.
moving along to number 12, Signy Josefsdottir. New name and new device.
Oh.
We will start off with the name.
Sydney is fine.
We got name looks good, no conflicts found for Bronwyn, and Frida agreed with her. So
That's pretty.
I feel fairly confident on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so name's good. Moving on to the device. Argent Vituployer Azure, a horse rampant purpure.
The redraw makes the colors much more obvious.
The color correction does not pick up the purpure as purpure.
No.
No, it picks it up as black and blue.
Black and bits of blue.
Mm-hmm.
Self-downs.
Get down.
So I would prefer to get a recolor of the original artwork as opposed to an actual full redraw.
Yeah, I like the artwork on the original better.
Yeah.
It's nice artwork. Yep. Crayola markers.
Although the submitters already approved the redraw, so that'll be one less thing we have to do.
Okay. Well, if the submitter has approved that redraw.
Yeah, Carlos made a comment, said submitter has seen and approved. So.
Okay.
Okay.
This motif looks familiar. Do we have something similar in submission that has not been registered?
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know I'm cheating. I'm talking about looking at one of the other kingdoms' external letters, and it may just be this is tickling my head, but it looks like another submission I've seen somewhere. But if so, I think it might be in process, but I can't recall properly.
That's possible because I know I haven't
look at
commented on all
everybody's
kingdoms.
external letters, so.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually caught up in my commenting, so.
So are we good otherwise?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like I said, I certainly can't come up with a source. Unless somebody wants to sit there and go through every single submission in Oscar to find out.
I'm good.
Awesome.
Like a very bad.
Well, you would actually only have to go through the horses in Oscar because if it's not a horse, actually, a horse is rampant. Because if it's
A
not
horse
a horse,
is a
rampant,
horse, of course, of course.
if it's not rampant, then it doesn't conflict.
Or salient.
Yeah.
We'll ask Mr. Ed to do it.
Yes.
Kurt said he'd do it.
Okay. Hey, it's nighttime.
No.
Yes, it worked.
I'm finding 5 with a score of 3, and none of them conflict.
Okay.
So
Like I said, it was just something in my head, not.
Well, if it's something in submission, it wouldn't show up on that anyway.
I'm saying on what we've got.
No problem.
What we've got in the O&A, I'm not finding any conflicts.
Oh, no, it wasn't an O&A. It was a recent Oscar submission.
I understand that.
Okay.
But I'm not going through all of the letters to find one right now.
Nope.
Like, I go to bed sometime tonight.
I think we've done due diligence on this one. Finding something against another letter in submission is a rare thing to do anyway.
And if it does wind up conflicting, we can always contact the submitter of the other arms and try to get permission to conflict, because we know we'll be able to contact them because they're not someone who registered it in 1978 and has dropped out of the society.
Right. Or we could do what they do from Cold Harbor and just slap a bordeaux on it.
If you like it, then you should have put bordeaux on it.
Moved on, Stiora.
No, that's actually what happened with my badge.
Nice reference, though, Urvaeus.
Moving along.
I was actually quoting Somerset though. So,
all right, guys. Moving on to number.
You're doing good. It's only 8:09.
Your time.
Yeah, your time.
Yeah. What other time is there?
Oh, wait,
the one true time, Eastern.
All right. Yes. All right, guys.
Okay, we are moving on to number 13.
On to number 13. Thorbane Thursa Springer. New name and new device. Starting off with the name. Both of them are being docked from Gearbossi.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I think we end up with enough of a difference between given names with the potential conflict that Bronwyn pulled up of Thorbjorn Thursa the Thorbjorn and Thorbane being different enough to not conflict with one another.
They're similar, but I don't think they're so similar that we're going to kick it back, but it's still, it bore mentioning.
Right.
Right. We've only changed one syllable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the syllable that changes. I'm looking at Senna.
Yeah, good.
The names are substantially different if a single syllable between them, excluding articles and prepositions. It's changed both in sound and appearance.
Which this is.
Okay. Okay. For an example, Connor is different from Conan, is different from Connell. The syllable is substantially different. I think in this case,
we have Bane versus Bjorn.
I think that qualifies.
I think so.
So yeah, set it up, and
I'll list that as a potential conflict that we thought we were clear of on the letter.
Okay.
Clear via PN3C2.
PN3C2. All right. So moving along to the device. Per Saltier, Ore, and Ghouls, 4 anchors, rings to center, counterchanged.
Do we have a conflict with this one?
I don't think it's a conflict, but it was the closest thing I found.
They get
Which
a
was,
DC for orientation, is it, or does it count as a DC or a SC for arrangement?
well, no, they're the same arrangements, except that the ones on the registered device are conjoined at the ring,
And they're
and it is fieldless.
Oh, sorry,
And the
it's a different one. I just posted it into
Yeah.
the Google
Oh,
Hangouts.
Per saltier, or and sable, 4 anchors counterchanged.
Well, those anchors would be in a different orientation, though, wouldn't they?
yes, they were.
They
They
would
would.
all be.
and you've changed the tincture of half of the field and half of the charges.
Have the charges, so there
So
would be
you're
no
good.
conflict there.
Wait, they're both.
Because it's or and sable
Versus
in yours. It's or and ghouls in our submission.
Oh, I misread it. I thought it said or on the thing. My bad.
Well, you still would have a different orientation on the anchors.
Right, but the orientation was only a DC, not an SC, right?
Right.
we've got two.
But
D-
And
we have
we've
two
got-
DCs. It's okay.
We got 2 BCs,
Yeah, I
which is
misread it.
you're changing the tincture of half the charges and tincture of half the field.
Yep.
Plus the orientation.
Plus the orientation.
Yeah, we're
you
good.
got 3.
Yep.
You're golden.
All right.
No, only half of it. The other half's red.
That's nice.
It's well read.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to call that device good and send it up to.
Okay. Thunder Buddy.
What we've all been waiting
Dun!
Moving along to number 14. Orphana Ma's daughter. New badge. Fieldless. A Coney salient Conturni ghouls maintaining a lightning bolt bendwise argent.
Return it. I don't know why, but return it.
I think we should bounce it.
Reblazing.
Bounce it, guys.
Proper.
I think she gets whatever she wants.
It's
this is
bunny. Bunnies are supposed to bounce.
I think the depiction of the bunny is too modern. We need to kick it back.
The
Oh,
lightning bolt is weird. Needs a redraw.
It's no ordinary rabbit.
Damn. At least I didn't use the stupid Shazam.
Speaking of which, there is a in Captain Marvel canon, there is a Hoppy the Marvel Bunny. I've just posted it here.
Oh God!
I'm so happy.
In fact, I even have appearances of him somewhere in that library.
And he wears red, and he has a little Shazam on his chest. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think you found a Halloween costume.
I can
didn't have
just
a
feel
Copy
the
Marvel.
scroll ideas flowing.
No, this would be great for a low-key cosplay at an event.
Hey, DragonCon's this weekend.
And of course, there is the Thunder Bunny that I've also posted in there.
Woohoo!
All right. So, all joking aside, we get a step from period practice for using a lightning bolt outside of a thunderbolt. But other than that, I don't think we have any issues.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding any conflicts at all.
Send
Yeah.
the bolt of lightning. Very, very frightening.
Galileo's new period.
So I think we're good. I think we're gonna have to send this one up.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, if we must,
Yay, my Energizer Bunny's going up.
Woohoo!
All right, moving on to number 15, Tribunus Argyris.
we keep a charge. Okay.
New device. Per chevron throughout, per pure and azure, a chevron throughout between 2 plummets, and a chrysanthemum argent.
Okay, that is way too skinny to be a chevron.
Yes.
Which is why I thought it was a pile fimbriated.
We weren't quite sure how to write this.
Do you want a chevron or does he want that picture?
He does want that white.
Does he want that picture?
Yeah, this is what we submitted. We submitted this on the Facebook Heraldic group, and another lady came back with this picture, and Tribunus liked it better than the one that he had originally.
Okay.
Well, it's fimbriated then.
If he wants that picture, that's a pile fimbriated, not per chevron.
Or a pile inverted.
Pile inverted fimbriated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we weren't entirely
So
sure.
we just need to change the blazon, basically.
Yeah, the blazon needs to
Right.
change.
I can do that.
Easy enough.
So it would be procure on a pile inverted Azure Fimbriated between two plummets. A
Chrysanthemum.
Persian.
Some have two S's in it.
I think that is misspelled. I'm
Yes.
I do not know how to spell that word, so I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just.
I believe it has one S.
And it's got an E after the TH.
Mm-hmm.
EMU. Okay.
EMU.
Emum, not amum.
So the blazon that I've got here is procure on a pile inverted, not inversed, on a pile inverted Azure Fimbriated
Wait a
between.
minute, you got it. You need to say throughout.
Yeah, because it's touching the edge of the shield.
And he's fine with making it a pile. He's watching on YouTube.
Yes, he's watching it. He hasn't said anything to me. I did tell him we're doing it right now. He's been watching.
No, he's already said it.
All right, so
Okay.
I mean,
So, procure
on a pile inverted throughout Azure Fimbriated between two plummets a chrysanthemum argent.
Yes.
the Blazon Gerard offer down at the bottom.
Oh, well.
Yeah, what he said.
So has it been conflict checked with this?
What's a plummet coded as? I found field treatment plummety, but I couldn't.
No, that's entirely different.
A single plummet.
It looks kind of like a scale weight to me.
Yeah, it does. Or a lantern, or possibly a lantern. It could conflict with a lantern too.
Or a very sharp drop.
Let's try lamps and lantern. I mean, there aren't a lot of fimbriated piles throughout, so I mean that alone is gonna make it difficult to conflict.
Now, what I picked up, let's see, as blazoned, it would be a conflict with the chevron. But with
Bjorn is happy he's going on as well.
But with the reblazon, it should not be.
Plummet is coded as a tool carpentry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a plumb bob.
Yes.
Right. That's what it is.
Okay.
For surveying tools.
And there's no cross-reference for that.
There's not. There's the only reference to plummets in the MyCat is plummety field treatments,
which is unrelated.
Not this.
This is from Mistholm. This image is from Mistholm.
Right. Has one been registered?
Yes.
Yeah.
Field was a plummet dependent of Accord Perpure in 2008, the Callantia.
Okay.
It's coded as tool-carpentry.
Right. Okay. Well, I will make a note to add that to the whatchamacallit.
All right. So the closest I've found so far is Purpur on a pile azure fimbriated a feather argent, but that's very clear.
Yeah, we get a DC for adding secondary charges and a DC for changing the tertiary.
Yeah.
I've made a note to add plummet, a cross-reference for plummet to MyCat.
Right.
Iteration. Next time I update it.
Yay, Morcellus!
Hey.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I think it's clear.
I'm not seeing any.
Right. So we will change the blazon and send it up.
Yay!
Yay.
Thorbjorn is glad these things are going on as well.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to number 16. Tryggvi Tryggsson. Okay. So that would given names coming from Gearbossi.
Yeah.
Here,
Then
the patronymic is coming from
Academy of
It's
St.
coming-
Gabriel Report 3041.
right, and they cited the documentation cited in that report.
Yes.
Viking graffiti trigger
Trigger carved these runes.
That is so cool.
Not
Ball was here.
Trigson.
not quite Kilroy was here, but in the same area code.
The medieval equivalent.
Yes.
Daniel Boone killed a bar on this here tree.
You're at least in the right state for that.
Yep.
Glad was here.
All right. So, looks like
That means it's written in red.
looks like construction is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we don't have any conflicts, so we are going to send it up.
Yay.
Yay.
Moving along to number 17, Tullio Mancini, new alternate name change.
This is it looks like it's a name change
This is also just a name change.
with an old name released. But, yeah. Ragged Staff spotted that.
Need to be released. Yeah.
Yep. Ragged Staff is on top of things.
So what is the difference between these two names? Oh, Abram Alber. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
a big difference.
Okay.
Abram Alber is the name being submitted.
Okay. I just wasn't looking in the right place because so he's releasing Tullio Mancini. Okay.
Yep. All right. So Abram Alber is the name being submitted. Abram is a Jewish name from France.
A Jewish name from Israel.
1486. Alber is surname from Magistrates of the Parliament of Rouen, which is also French. 1499 to 1610. So they are within
500 years.
within a lot of time.
As a matter of fact, they're within 13 years.
Potentially.
Oh, by the way, the lady who did the Abram article in the last week or so has been made a Laurel.
Yes.
Ari?
Oh, yeah, Ari. Yeah. Ari got
Ari was finally made a Laurel for doing things like researching names.
Hooray!
Cool beans. Okay.
about damn time.
Oh, a
But-
decade ago it was time.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
I have opinions.
well, Ari presented concerns that may have gotten in the way of full consideration.
She did such great work. She's a good friend of mine.
I'm not questioning her work. Other factors.
All
Okay, Abram Alber.
Nice name.
Nice name.
Docs check out. Names are within time period and same language family, so I think we are good.
Yes.
Shouldn't this be the heading of the entry? Abram Alber, since it's a new name.
Yeah.
It should
Let's
be.
change.
Yeah.
No, it should be under the name of the registered name as a name change.
You know, this should be Abram Alber, name
As the
change
item.
from Tullio Mancini.
Oh, when they do a primary name change, they put the old name in there and then do a submission, and then say name change 2, and then they add that in.
I believe this is done correctly. This is
Okay.
just-
It's
I'm
done correctly,
thinking
it's
of
just
how it's going to look like coming out the other end.
alternate name change. It just needs to be a name change.
Yeah. When it
Yeah.
goes, the other end is going to be that way. This one is
Right.
Yeah, just drop new alternate and just put in name change.
Yeah, there's no good way of doing this actually on a screen to make it make sense.
Well,
there is. This is just not it.
See, you have to put the registered name in as the header item, so that Oscar knows that this item is the item it's looking for for checking to see if it's already registered.
Because the records are under Tullio Mancini currently.
Yes.
so if it gets returned, it goes into the Tullio Mancini file.
Correct.
And if it gets accepted, the Tullio Mancini file gets renamed to Abram Albert
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah.
All right, so
Got it.
you're going to change the submission type
To name
a
change.
little bit, and then send it up.
Yes.
All right, and then finally, the last item on this letter, Tullio Mancini new device. Argent on a sun sable, a bee or a bordure embattled ghouls.
I didn't find any conflicts on this.
That doesn't look like a boar.
There are no boars here. Well, there might be one, but
Hey,
We're not calling any name.
Yes. It might be best when this submission goes into Oscar that it's Tullio Mancini, name change and device as a single entry.
link the two.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Oscar 2 is probably not going to let you do that kind of stuff, but it'll be prepared to handle these kinds of things better. But for now, yeah, having it all be in one numbered item that's name change and device.
Yes.
That's unremarkable, and that avoids interesting post meeting processing.
Right.
So it's looking like no conflicts found. Anybody else find anything?
it's looking like a black sun with sunglasses to me. I mean,
Yeah, well,
lean back a little bit.
I think at a reasonable distance it's okay, and I think when it's drawn on a shield or something, the bee will look a little more beefed up.
Oh, you're right, but it still looks like a black sun with gold sunglasses.
And a big honking nose.
Big nose.
I never understood why you would illustrate a sun wearing sunglasses.
The same reason you illustrate Atlas holding up the Earth, because you don't know what you're doing.
Well,
The sun would not need
according
sunglasses.
to Greek mythology.
Atlas held up the sky, not the Earth.
Oh,
no, this son's favorite song is "I Like to Wear My Sunglasses at Night." Okay.
so I can.
Besides, he's not wearing the sunglasses to block his eyes from the sun. He's wearing the sunglasses because he's cool.
No, he's wearing it because the future's so bright he's got to wear shades.
Exactly.
No, or because he's hot.
This all sounds shady to me.
You people.
Sounds pretty sunny to me.
Well, it certainly will keep Onstiora from registering the Order of the Golden Bee.
Was there ever a...
They're the Black Sun Kingdom.
the Black Hole Sun Kingdom?
Yeah, that's what they call their former principal herald, is the Black Hole.
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, but they only get one at a time.
And all the other ones are just called a-holes.
Oh, now wait a minute.
I knew that was coming. I totally knew that was coming.
Anyway, I'm not finding any more conflicts, so I think we are going to send that.
No, I'm not seeing it.
All right. So real quick, hopping over to the second letter.
Administrative details.
Administrative details. Item number 1 is a new permission to conflict, not a new blanket permission to conflict.
If it's just a permission to conflict, do we need to submit it? Don't we just need to give a letter to the person who's submitting the thing that needs to be conflicted with?
Yeah, it doesn't go on an
I don't know
LOI.
if that's how it works for king, because it's a king registered to the kingdom.
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
The crown says, yeah, this is okay, and it's just to that person, so it's
Right.
just a letter provided to Laurel via that person, but it's not an item on a letter of intent.
Okay. So I will figure out what's going on there.
If Terrence,
and make sure that it gets sent off to the correct person or people.
Right. What what kingdom was this? Is Gwendolyn from? Do we know offhand?
Not certain.
No, but it says that a copy was already sent to the submitter.
Right.
Yeah.
So that it can, and it's just a matter of making sure that it gets up to the system and in front of Pelican.
Right, yeah.
Before the letter has to be put together.
Individual working on all of that. So,
okay.
And then,
okay.
Well, in that case, we can skip over that one.
Right.
And go on down to the next one.
Which is,
it's listed as new transfer of badge of association and acceptance of badge association, which Ragged Staff has said just needs to be entered as a badge association change.
Yeah.
Because ownership is not being changed, just what it's associated with.
Right.
Basically, they're taking a device that is registered to the Goslings Guild, which is a defunct.
Yeah.
That is not in use in Kingdom, and they are transferring it over to Page School, which is being used.
Yeah, I don't even think signatures are needed for this.
That's a kingdom level question of whether you want signatures on this, but certainly from a Laurel perspective, this is like you just send it up.
So this begs the question: if the Goslings Guild is defunct, why didn't they just rename it the Meridian Page School and be done with it?
Because they probably forgot that it existed whenever they registered Meridian Page School.
Very possibly. Well, the except that back in the day, the Goslings tended to be more the really small kids, but
yeah, and from the administrative
pages were older.
From the administrative perspective, all the kingdom has to do is say this is what we want a designated for.
Except that it's listed in the ONA as associated with the Goslings Guild.
Yeah, but we can change that administratively. We don't need any real pay. We just need to put it in Oscar and say we want to change this designation.
Which is what this is nominally trying to do.
Yes.
But this is a transfer.
It's just been entered in an incorrect manner.
Right.
Right. Yeah. It's let's see, and I'm looking at the Goslings Guild is associated, but the Goslings Guild is not a registered thing. It's just shows up as a reference and points back to a badge association. And Meridian Pages School is not a registered name thing either, and it's probably too generic.
Well, if that's the case, then we don't actually need either of these.
Well, I mean, it's perfectly okay for a badge to be for the Gosling School or for the Meridian Page School, Meridian's Page School. That's not a problem. It's just a matter of the name of the entity is not itself registered, but it certainly can be attached to a badge.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's
And this is
registered
the-
to the kingdom, and it's associated with whatever the kingdom wants to associate it with, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and the page school is too generic to register.
Yes.
But you can certainly change of badge association from Gosling's Guild to Meridier's Page School.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I expect to see coming out the far end.
Yeah.
And it could be to,
So
from,
it's not really a transfer. It's just kind of a change of association.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like
Which is a semi-routine thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
it's changing this. It's like changing the designator of a branch.
Right.
Mhm.
Which, you know, now that they've gotten this taken care of, they can go ahead and fix the branch designator for Owl's Nest.
No, no.
No, they can't do that. Usually
Owl-
what happens with that is that the branch goes to register something new, and at that point they update it.
If you look at the admin handbook and the Senna, I forget. Well, you know, if you read the relevant documents that describe things to do, it's very clear that the branch designator in the database is a placeholder, and it will only be updated when there's a new submission from that branch.
Which is what I just.
Which is what you said.
I know that the Shire of Salthaven is the Canton of Salthaven, and they did not change that to Shire until we resubmitted for a populace badge.
And there was a cover letter item from me, Morseless, on the question of, but the ONA says we're a canton and we're a shire now. What do we do? And the answer is
Register something new.
register something new. Otherwise, you know, don't just send up a letter going, we want the designator changed. No, don't do that.
They won't.
Well, I don't care anyway because it's not my group.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the point is that the seneschal keeps track of whether you're a shire or a canton or a kingdom or a whatever. The heralds don't care, except for minor things like kingdoms get crowns and shires don't. But you know, aside from those details, the records don't care. There's just a designator in there because there needs to be one. And so yeah, it gets changed when you submit, when you register a new item.
Right.
And that happens on a regular basis.
All right. So that brings us to the end of what we have for commentary this month. So thank you everybody who came out and provided commentary. Thank you for everybody who watched along with us on YouTube. Let's see here. 5 to 6 people doing it. So next month's decision meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, September 25th. So there will be emails going out ahead of time for reminders. I have set up a recurring reminder for myself to actually go and post them. Hopefully, I won't forget to post them anymore.
Okay. Reminders are your friend.
Yes. Yes.
As long as they actually go off when they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Or go off when you're in a place where you can act on them.
Right.
So thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you all again next month. Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.